Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and we are joined by Kory Watkins, someone I've been following for quite some time on Facebook. I've been keeping up with his updates over the years, and really good guy. He is currently running for governor of Texas, and one of the people behind Texas Freedom Grounds, a vocal open carry activist, and someone you may recognize for sitting behind the plate at a Major League Baseball game with a Taxation is Theft shirt, which was obviously epic. It became a big meme trend, I think it was a few months back, and I'm happy to finally get to speak with him on the record, so thank you for joining us, Kory.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, man, and I've been trying to get with you on an interview for a little bit, and it's about time we collaborate. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, and now we will be getting into the great work you and the Liberty Coalition for Disaster Relief is doing in Houston and surrounding areas following Hurricane Harvey. But first, can you go into your run for governor and what you, as someone I suppose I consider a voluntarist, hope to accomplish with this campaign?
Yeah, well, I'm seeking the nomination under the Libertarian ticket to become their candidate to run against the Republican and Democrat in November of 2018. So first thing I got to do is I got to get delegates to the convention, and I got to secure that nomination for the Libertarian Party. That's first and foremost. I'm just fed up with what's going on, and I'm feel obligated to do something about it. That's how I've always felt. So I get up and I take action. So that's what I'm doing. I'm getting myself involved in this race, and I want to educate people about, like you said, voluntarism, and just letting people know about the message of that and libertarianism as well, and just that, about the non-aggression principle and voluntary actions. We don't need a middleman, the middleman being government. So I got a good support behind me, a good group of people, and I'm eager to get involved, and I've been asked to do this, and so I'm focused and I'm ready, and we're going to run a very serious campaign and go all over the state. Texas is a huge state, so there's going to be lots of traveling, and we're going to be raising thousands and thousands of dollars and getting people into the conventions to be a delegate, secure this nomination, and then after that, I believe it's a two-man race between me and Mr. Abbott.
Well, if there's one place that is going to happen and be successful, it is Texas. And Kory, what kind of gun do you have there behind you? I'm kind of trying to see. What do you got there?
Yeah. This is the AK-47. Usually if you search me on Google or whatever, that's the picture you'll see that comes up with that gun right there. I've taken that gun pretty much on every single open carry walk. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just figured out.
I've been following your work, going, to grocery stores and, walking on public streets and everything with their guns. And I think it's something that so badly needs to happen because there's been kind of a shift away from the normalization of people defending themselves towards the normalization of being afraid of these big, scary, inanimate objects, which are probably the best lifesavers we have in the world in order to defend not just ourselves against criminals and, people, foreign, domestic, etc. It goes right back to the original founding documents, and not just that, but I mean the government. If the government decides to ramp up the police state, ramp up the grab for individual liberty and freedoms, I mean it's not unreasonable to be prepared. It's a very bad thing to be unprepared. So I really appreciate the work that you do with open carrying. But back to the election, there's so much infighting today, from communism to fascism. Everything has become so polarized and divided. Different forms of collectivism battling it out. How do you plan on reaching such a divided public?
You're very right about that. Very divided public, and I hope to just carry out a message, which is what my campaign stands for, is love, freedom, and innovation. And I believe that when we're divided, there's nothing more that can bring us closer and together than loving people and educating people and leading by example. I think that's very important. People do a lot of talking, but can you put that into motion and do the walking? That's the question. And so that's what this campaign is about: love, freedom, innovation, leading by example. And so, I want to, even if we disagree or we are on different spectrums of a debate, it's okay. We can still be friends at the end of the day. I can still respect you. We can still go have dinner or a beer or something. So, even people who are in the Republican Party or Democrat Party or Libertarian Party, I want to attract everybody. And I think the best way to attract everybody is to be honest and to just spread the message of freedom and don't take any sides. Just stay principled and take the side of freedom. And I think people will eventually see that and start buying into the message of freedom. And we're just so divided because people are divided, systematically. That's by design. And I think by showing a message of love and leading by example and trying to unify people and because I think that brings a strong message. And there's nothing that could show me that, when I went to Houston, it doesn't matter where you came from or what religion you were. People were saving people. So people were helping people out, and that's our nature, is to help one another and to love one another. Unless we're redirected and told differently, and get on TV and listen to all this lies and the hate and the garbage that's spread on the TV, I think that's where the confusion and the divide happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of unfortunate that freedom it's such a simple idea and such a beautiful idea. It's one of the bases of life itself, is just individual liberty. But it's unfortunate that it's so fringe to so many people out there. Like, it's some kind of crazy belief to believe in, the basics of humanity itself. That's what's intrinsic within us. Freedom. You're born with it. Government can't hand it to you. They can only take it away. And I just find it unbelievable how divided the public has gotten when there's so many beautiful things that we can do together. I mean, from these organized Antifa groups that want to yell and shout and, cause violence, to the organized alt-right groups that want to do the very same. And none of them want to just, talk together and try to, ease the tensions. They want to raise the tensions. And it's a sad thing to see, because a few years ago, of course, with the Ron Paul presidential election, a lot of us thought, hey, maybe things are finally kind of going in that direction. But it seems like the mainstream public has kind of lost their way with that. But Kory, what is the main issue that you really want to get to the public with this campaign?
Well, I want to spread the message of love, freedom, and innovation. That's the main thing. But issues, as far as Texas issues go and legislation, we have three main issues here in Texas that are on the top of my list, and I believe that they are on the top of many people's list here in Texas, and for a very long time. And one of those is more gun freedoms. We need more gun freedoms here in Texas. The legislators, the governor, they are totally ignoring us down there, and it's time to change that. A second one is cannabis freedoms and ending the war on drugs in general. Stop arresting people for non-violent, victimless crimes, for putting a plant in your body and stuff like that. We need to decriminalize cannabis here in Texas and allow the free market to handle it, and allow people to buy it or sell it or use it however they see fit. That's how it should happen. And then the third one is taxes. Of course, I'm a firm believer in taxation is theft, and I believe that the property tax is at the top of that list, and we need to get rid of that immediately and start reducing all other taxes down to zero as soon as possible.
Absolutely. And I love how you put those three things together, because first of all, with guns and cannabis, I mean, prohibition, no matter what side you're on, prohibition is both illogical and immoral. I mean, it's an attack of individual freedom to do as you please, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you're not aggressing against anyone. And unfortunately, there's that mainstream on both sides. There's a mainstream that says, we love guns, but we hate cannabis. And there's the mainstream on the other side. We hate guns, but we love cannabis. And in the end, it's the same thing. Prohibition doesn't work, it's immoral. And I love that you put those two things together, because I'm sure there's quite a few people that are watching your campaign scratching their heads a little bit confused and maybe thinking over these issues a little bit.
Absolutely. Hey, I love guns and I love cannabis too. So, you know, I think that if somebody wants to smoke a joint while they're open carrying their gun, you know, if they're, you know, they should be allowed to do so if they're not bothering anybody or harming anybody. I think cannabis should be normalized, just like a cell phone or just like a cigarette, or and I think the same thing should happen with guns. It should be a normal thing. When you see a gun, you shouldn't think differently. It should be just like seeing a phone. Oh, he's got a phone. That's all it is. Oh, he's got a gun. Oh, he's smoking a joint. He's smoking a cigarette. These aren't that big of deals. It's just people doing whatever they see fit, and you know, we get sucked into these fears of stupid stuff, and they take away our freedoms in the name of safety. So
absolutely. Well, I seem to remember, I think it was Tim Moen, the leader of the Libertarian Party of Canada, once was quoted saying, I want gay married couples to protect their cannabis plants with their guns. And I think that's a pretty good selling point, but maybe not to everyone. But all the same, you know, individual liberty is so important. But Kory, I wanted to go into the issue of Hurricane Harvey, because I've been following what you've been doing down in Houston and surrounding areas. It's just a beautiful thing. You and the Liberty Coalition for Disaster Relief. I mean, this is what everyone should be looking up to. Just people who are helping their fellow man, not giving a damn whether it's a man, a woman, a black man, a white man, a Hispanic man, you know, no matter who it is. It's individuals helping individuals, and that's one of the great things about voluntarism, that people are far more efficient than government, and people can do so much good when they put their minds together and work as a voluntary collective. Can you go into some of the work you've been doing down there?
Yeah, you know, a couple people contacted me. One of them was Brent. He lives, I think it's South Carolina or North Carolina area. He's on the East Coast. He's a very staunch libertarian. He's vice chair in his county. He contacted me and asked me to get involved in this, and I said absolutely right away. I love helping people. I really do, and to tell people about something like this and to talk about it all the time, and then get the opportunity to put it into action is my specialty. So I jumped on it right away, and we took action. And the first thing I did is I wanted to start getting supplies ready for people. Right when the hurricane happened, I had taken 5 days off of work, so I couldn't get down there right away. Just my schedule wouldn't allow me. So it wasn't about 4 or 5 days until I could get down there after the hurricane. But once we did, we came with thousands and thousands of dollars in supplies. One of the first things I did is it sparked into my head, you know, I have a good following on Facebook, and I know they're caring, loving people just like me, so I want to reach out to them, and they trust me, and we can make this situation better. So I went into Walmart with a shopping cart. I got on Facebook Live, and people started helping me shop. You know, I started donating some of my own money, and I told people, if you want to donate money, just send it to my PayPal, and I'll put it right in my shopping cart. And so as my PayPal was getting money in updates, I was keep putting stuff in the carts. And so I checked out my first cart. It was probably about $500-600, and people were just really hitting this really hard. So I decided to do another cart, and then shoot, long story short, 2 days later I was on my 5th or 6th cart filling up, and then we got with one of my buddies who's in Louisville. They had an 18-wheeler go down there with a bunch of supplies. So we got about $1,000 worth of supplies on that truck, and we sent that down there. Then I started really digging in with the Liberty Coalition team, and we raised about $10,000 in a very short amount of time. And so what we decided to do with a little bit of that money is we decided to take people on shopping sprees. We wanted to connect with these people and you get with them directly and help them out. So one of the first things we did is contact people who we know that have had libertarian friends down there, or just friends or family members down there. It didn't even really matter their political affiliation or whatever, but I'm always trying to reach out to my libertarian friends, of course. So we did that, and we reached out to many others as well. So we went down there, and the first family we got with, we pulled them out of a hotel and surprised them with a couple $100s in supplies that we brought. And then we took them on a $500 shopping spree, if you will, and bought them clothes. They had 2 little kids with them, bought them a bunch of clothing and all kinds of good stuff like that. And we repeated that 4 different times. I met up with a wonderful friend of mine, LaTanya, who flooded in her house about 3 feet high and lost all kinds of good stuff in there. We took her on a shopping spree. I tried to help her out with a down payment on her car, but she already had that situation handled because she lost her car in the flood too. So I was going to try to help her out with a down payment, but she had already done that by the time I could get to her. So we just went ahead and took her on a shopping spree as well, and then I took them out for dinner afterwards. So I am a helper, I'm a lover, and if I'm talking about it, man, I better be doing it. So that's what that was about. We should be helping each other out. Some people go down there and rescue people. Some people can help out with money. Some people can get down there and take a little time off of work like I did. So it's a team. What I did was only one person, one man. There's a team of just wonderful people who support me. So the backing that I have is awesome. So
it's a beautiful thing, Kory. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm just looking at, it was right after Charlottesville. Everyone was so divided. Everything it just looked really bad for a while there, and then with this hurricane, a horrible tragedy, but then the beauty of people coming together and helping each other. It was just one of the most overwhelmingly great things to see. With tragedy comes hope in a lot of cases, and it's no different in this case. I really hope that people realize, like, this is still happening. The media gets in there and they try to, get some viewers, and then the second it's up, they're gone. They don't talk about it anymore, but this is still happening. People are suffering, and I really hope that people who are watching this video donate, do whatever they can. We will leave the link for the Liberty Coalition for Disaster Relief below as well. And I mean, this is so important. Look at places like Rockport, just obliterated, and there's
terrible.
There's so much damage, and it's not, I know it's a lot of it's material things, but people are homeless. They can't afford to feed their families right now. The amount of benefits they're getting is not that great, and of course it always comes down to the individual, helping the individual, because let's face it, you look at the Red Cross and you see them giving away or keeping most of the money and not giving it to where it's needed. And we need to look at great work like that which Kory has done and the Liberty Coalition for Disaster Relief. And I also have to say, man, really great parenting. I was watching some of your videos on Facebook Live, and just a really good influence on your kids. I wish more people did that.
Yeah, that's why I do what I do, man. My kids, they're amazing.
Yeah, it's really inspirational, and I wish more people, took their kids and showed them, this is what helping people is all about, and this is what we can do. We can bring this smile to this person's face. This person who felt like everything was hopeless, they're now smiling. They feel better. They know that people are there to help them, and that's what freedom's all about. That's what voluntarism's all about. That's what one of the bases, like I said earlier, it's just people helping people voluntarily. You don't need government to come in and tell you what to do. You can do this yourself, because that's one of the great things about humanity, is people helping people. Now, Kory, I wanted to just finish it off by asking you about the Texas Freedom Grounds. Could you go into that? What is that, and how? What exactly is the work that you are doing?
Yeah, Texas Freedom Grounds is basically an idea of just people living out here in a general area and being surrounded with each other, and just it's like-minded people, who believe in less government, who believe in no government, who believe in independent, self-providing. Not everybody, but it's not all everybody believing the same thing, and that's the greatest thing about this area is we all own our own property and we all live independent and as individuals. And so I might see, Joey, who lives 2 houses down the street from me, who moved. He was one of our very first movers out here to the Texas Freedom Grounds. He does his normal thing, he gardens and makes his money and does all, and whatever. I might see him once a week. I might see him every day this week. It just changes. And somebody lives 2 blocks down, somebody lives 2 miles away or 10 minutes away. So just people coming out here into this area and being surrounded by like-minded people. When people talk about that term, oh, well, I got my shit bag packed, so when shit hits the fan, I'm ready to go. Well, we have our shit place ready. We're not going anywhere. This is where we're going to be. And so and this is about influencing our kids and stuff, and getting them kind of breaking the chains of slavery and getting out of this systematic world and really learning about independence and self-providing, and that's what Texas Freedom Grounds is about.
Oh, we need it more than ever. And I always talk to people, my viewers. I say, look, there's nothing wrong with being over-prepared. What's bad is being under-prepared, being able to sustain yourself, self-responsibility, self-sustainability, independence, food, water, shelter, defense, of course, sound money. These things are all important in the long term, because you never know what's going to happen next. And we're watching a lot of crazy stuff play out right now, and a lot of this is very unpredictable, and we don't know what's going to happen next. And most people are dependent on the government. They are dependent on the government. They're dependent on their bank. They're dependent on other people instead of self-dependent, independent, and actually prepared to go out and help themselves when everything comes down. And I really think that what you are doing is truly important. Kory, is there anywhere people can go to support the work you do and help you on your campaign?
Yeah, absolutely. We got a website, KoryWatkinsforTexas.com. That's Kory. So KoryWatkinsforTexas.com. And I got a Facebook page, of course. It's the same thing, Kory Watkins for Texas. And, like, comment, share, all that stuff. It helps to trigger the algorithm system in Facebook and our message spread further. Of course, the website, Kory Watkins for Texas. Sign up on our emails. And donate to the campaign. Go over to the Liberty Coalition for Disaster Relief. Show them some love and support, if you will, please. We are sending people right now to Key West with all kinds of supplies and goods and money to help out people right over in that area, and they need help bad. So, and then if you want to check out Texas Freedom Grounds, we got a website as well, TexasFreedomGrounds.com. Check out all the videos. We got hours and hours of videos and interviews and stuff on there. Really look at what Texas Freedom Grounds is about. I know some people just think, we're all living out here on the same property and we share each other's stuff, and that's just not it. Go through the videos, do the research. We're all normal, independent people just living out here in a general area surrounded with like-minded people. So those are the 3 things that I'm really heavily involved in. So that's how you can support me, and I appreciate any love and support that is thrown my way. Thank you for this interview as well.
Absolutely. I really hope our viewers check this out. I mean, we can all talk all day, but we have to do, and Kory is a doer. Thank you for joining us, sir. I hope to have you back again.
Thanks, Barry. I appreciate it.
Now to sound like an auctioneer. Thanks for watching, everyone. Check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so vastly demonetized and censored by YouTube as they bring in the Anti-Defamation League to flag all of our content as hate speech. Also check our Bitcoin address in the description in the comments, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And don't forget to check me out at Josh Sigurdson at Steemit.com. That's Steemit.com, the future of social media, where you get paid via cryptocurrency, Steem that is, by the upvote and demand of your post. It's bound to take out the dinosaur social media, so I hope to see you there. But until next time, check out this word from our sponsor.
Are you looking to exchange a large amount of US dollars? Don't overpay with the bank on currency exchange. Think outside the bank. Banks charge unnecessary fees of up to 3%. Truth be told, currency exchange with the bank will cost you hundreds to thousands of dollars. Start saving now. Step 1. Register online. Visit our website and click Get Started. Step 2. Book a transaction. Phone us for a quote and to complete the transaction. We'll need to know which currencies you are converting and how much. Step 3. Transfer of funds. Once you confirm the transaction, we initiate an electronic funds transfer from the account that you choose. Your purchased funds are then transferred back to you in the account that you choose within 1 business day. It's that easy. Start saving hundreds of dollars on currency exchange with CBCE. Sign up online or give us a call today.